Um, Hello everyone. My name is Angus, and today I will introduce one of the Taiwan's renewable energy source, geothermal energy. We all know that there are many types of renewable energy besides the common solar and wind power. Geothermal energy is a major focus in Taiwan. Um, it is bec- this is because geothermal power, unlike solar and wind, can operate continuously without being affected by weather, making it more reliable, more stable. And explain the principle and advantage of geothermal power, and also introduce you the type of um, um, geothermal energy and the efficiency of different types. Um, the reason that I chose this topic is because first I came from Taiwan, and second of all that I think um, people started to transfer to renewable energy is really gonna impact our climate changes and potentially resolve all the global warm issue. Yeah. Okay. So first, what is the principle and behind geothermal power generations? So heat energy is released during the decade of radioactive elements inside the Earth, and keeping its interiors hot. And on average, for every kilometers you go underground, the temperature rise about 30 degrees Celsius. And by drilling several kilometers down, we can reach the conditions that's needed for geothermal power generations. Um, and geothermal power is used this heat to turn underground water into steam, and which drives turbines to generate electricity. And it is a renewable energy source that and can serve a long-term power investment, replacing something like nuclear or natural gas, meeting energy savings and carbon reductions goal, and also accelerating the transitions. Geothermal power has three main advantage over solar and wind power, which also all are renewable energy, um, with almost zero to some carbon footprint. So making it more suitable as a primary power source is because first, it is a stable power supply. So geothermal energy is one of the world's most abundant energy sources. Unlike finite resources like natural gas, coal, and oil, geothermal energy comes from the Earth inner layer, and it is not it's not easily depleted. Um, and underground temperatures remain stable over years, unaffected by climate change. Um, and also like solar and wind power efficiency drop in poor weather conditions, but geothermal powers remain steady and making it more reliable. And it's also because the high efficiency, um, the temperature difference is key to power generation efficiency. And Taiwan is on the edge of volcanic activity zones, where underground temperatures rise quickly, making geothermal power very efficient. And also, Taiwan has over more than 30 geothermal resources area, and mainly in the north and the east, attracting company like Sweden baseload capital to develop a plant in Hualien, um, expected to produce more than 150 megawatts of power, just that one plant alone. And then Taiwan's geothermal potential is about 32 gigawatt, is equivalent to 11.7 nuclear power plant and showing a great future potentials. And another fun fact is currently Taiwan has two nuclear power plants, and all I believe more than half of Taiwanese is trying to get rid of nuclear power because we're such a little island and we have earthquake a lot, and it create a lot of risk um, if we have nuclear power plant. So yeah, and one of the benefit is small land area. So geothermal power plants need less land compared to solar and wind farms. They only require storage pools, cooling systems, generators, and heat exchangers. Um, so, for example, um, the Hsinchu geothermal power plants in um covers about seven um, arcs and can supply power for um, sorry, 7 anchors and can supply power for 10,000 household annually. And then it is equivalent to 25 million kilowatt of green electricity, and it's pure green, with zero carbon footprint. And then it is contributing to Taiwan's goal of the net zero emissions by 2050. Um, yeah, I think this is one of the most important point that I learned from this research is last year, Taiwanese government declared that they will go 100% renewable energy by 2050. So, fun fact. Okay, so we can compare the geothermal power with solar and wind power in this simple table that I put together. Um, So there are two types. As you can see that geothermal energy has significant advantage over other two type of renewable energy. Um, I think the most eye-catching is the annual operating efficiency. So let's say that the sun's providing 100 kilowatt hours um, of power, and that's only being converted to 20 to 30% of usable power that's being transmitted to each household. And then also like compares to winds is less than 30%. But on the other side, geothermal uh, powers can provide 76 operating efficiency, and also like the environmental constraint, pretty much no impact at all. But like for example, like solar, you'll have to have um, potentials like systematic hazard zones need to be avoided, and also like winds, you need to have like a large flat hinterland. So and then like the power generation side area, because most of the facility is underground, so compared to solar and wind is really really small. And I think the main mm, standout point here is the status of the electricity supply, right? Uh, so for example, like solar, it's pretty much like weather affected, and then also wind, the same deal. with geothermal power, it's really, really stable because it's 24/7, just always providing heat from underground. Um, yeah. So, what are the type of geothermal power generations? Uh, there are like uh, there are like two main type is shallow and deep geothermal power, and geothermal the shallow one is use the water and steam heated by underground geothermal energy that is within 3 kilometers, and then it requires a specific geological conditions and is limited to area which pressurized cap rocks and abundant underground water. And compares to deep geothermal energy, it involves injecting cold water into the area deeper than more than 3 kilometers, and where it's heated by Earth, like directly, and then where it can brought up to the surface afterwards to generate steams for powers. Currently, Taiwan is mainly use shallow geothermal power, but as technology advances, the focus is shifting towards um, deep geothermal power. The government has introduced incentive and the feeding tariff to for geothermal power, and then a lot of financial institutions, so bank in Taiwan, are also supporting this industry, and then helping a lot of local company to build a thermal plant in Taichung, it, and then it is expecting uh, to power more than 3,500 household by 2024, the end of 2024, and also is aiming to achieve 20% renewable energy rate by 2050, like the overall um, power supply to Taiwan as a country. One of the really important part of this research that is finding out is Taiwan's really suitable for geothermal development. So Taiwan has a natural advantage with abundant geothermal resources, and its great potential for geothermal power. The conditions needed for geothermal thermal powered fields include this several point. So geothermal gradient or volcanic magma. This is a check that I mentioned before. So also we do have to have underwater sources, which is also another check. So Taiwan's has a lot of farmers. They all use underground water to farm their rice. And then the third point is fracture geological structures forming the water path. So compares to where we at here in New Jersey, Taiwan's uh, soil is relatively very, very soft. So it can easily create a water path for the geothermal power to work. And then also, they also have to have the high porosity rocks for storage hot water that is being transmitted from underground. So I guess Taiwan meets these conditions in over 30 locations, and the geothermal potentials in the north and the central and in the east Taiwan, all summed out together is more than 159.6 gigawatt, and it's equivalent to 30% of the total geothermal potential here in US. So if you think about it, like Taiwan's the, the whole island is size about the same as our smallest state here in US, which is Rhode Island. So it is. um, extremely doable. And then to compare that power is um, equivalent to 12 nuclear power plants. Um, this this is very impressive. Potentials has attract companies like base lore capitals to select Taiwan as one of the only two geothermal developments area in Asia, the whole Asia. Yeah. Yeah. So um, that's pretty much what I have for you today. And thank you for spending time with me to go over this really interesting topic about the geothermal power back in Taiwan. So Taiwan, like I said, is aiming at to go fully um, to fully renewable energy by 2050, and I believe this is um, one of the milestones that affecting our climate changes. I believe that if somehow like magically next day the whole world is going for to transit to renewable energy, it will solve a lot of climate changes that the greenhouse gas has brought up. So here are all the references, includes the numbers and some of the facts that I brought up in my presentation. Feel free to check it out. I believe some of it are in Chinese, but um, I guess we all have the tool to easily translating this. All right, so again, thank you for your time, and looking forward to see all of your presentations. Thank you.